Over the past few years, as I've brought on more and more students of jam band guitar, I've found that a lot of students lack a clear roadmap to success. Now, a lot of these students are looking to be able to sit down with the guitar and make it sound good on their own. If that's not the case, then maybe they have a friend who plays guitar and they want to be able to jam with them and not be restricted only to the few songs that they know. Or they're in a band and they want to start bringing in other songs that they've never really explored before, but still feel confident with improvising over it and playing interesting rhythm parts. I figured it'd be a good idea to make a quick lesson on the ideal roadmap for jam band guitar playing. So I think about it in 3 steps. Number 1 is the theory, number 2 is the content, and then number 3 is making it your own. So, first up, you have to learn the theory, right? You're not going to be able to truly understand another person's guitar solo or understand how to play over a certain progression if you don't even know what you're looking for. So, the few things that I would start with in order. Number 1, the pentatonic scale, right? Just that basic pentatonic. Number 2, learn the cage system. When you learn the cage system, you understand how to build chords all the way across the neck. And then that gives you a whole bunch more information that you can then look into. The next subsection of the cage system is to learn all of the pentatonic scales. Then after all the pentatonic scales, you can learn all the major scales. Then you can learn the mixolydian. You can take the triads from the cage system. All of these things will help you with your soloing, but also with your rhythm playing too. If you were playing over a simple 2-chord jam, say Fire on the Mountain, for example, and you're just going B to A for 15 minutes, it gets pretty boring. But if you knew different ways to make those bar chords or maybe, add in some embellishments to triads, all of a sudden you now have this improvisational approach to rhythm playing. So you'll get that from triads, and that comes from the cage system. So to recap, for theory, what you want to be pretty familiar with is the cage system, and within that, the pentatonic scales, the major scales, the triads, and the mixolydian. I will say that I built an online platform that is dedicated to teaching jam band guitar. All of those things are covered in individual lessons that make it very easy to understand, and I kind of teach it the way that I learned it. And I don't have this knack for music theory. I learn through trial and error. And in these lessons, I give you my approach to it. A lot of students have already seen success with it so far, whether it be private students, Tough Club premium members, or members of the Weekly Mentor Plan. If you're interested in checking out some of the lessons, you can go ahead. There's a link in the description of this video. You can start a 7-day free trial. If you're interested in the more private coaching approach, check out the Weekly Mentor Plan. There's also a link for that in the description. It basically means that I would be assigning you lessons based on your skill level, and every week you would send me videos with your progress, and I'd check in with you so that when you're in this initial crucial stage of building the foundation of theory, I can help you out and make sure that you're sticking to the right path. The second part of this is the content. What I mean by that is learning guitar solos. When you learn a real guitar solo, a real life guitar solo that somebody else did, you are learning their approach to this system that you now know. When you know all of the theory that I mentioned before, you have fretboard fluency. You know all of the notes that you can play. When you learn a solo, you're learning how somebody connected all of those things over a certain chord progression and over a certain song. Now that's really interesting because you can look at that and you can just pull your favorite parts out of whatever that solo is that you learn. There are so many less tangible benefits of this, whether it be, the speed that you build or the dynamics or the specific way that you learn to play notes when you're mimicking somebody else's playing. But it all comes back to the same conclusion, which is when you learn guitar solos, you get all of the content that you need to work with so that you can make this whole system as interesting as you would like it. Now, another benefit of Tough Club is that I've got, I think, 30 or 40 full jam band guitar solos tabbed out in a digital player so that you can slow it down, you can isolate certain sections, you can watch me play it as it goes through. And it's a really helpful tool for picking up solos easily, But then also, I have a lot of lessons within Tough Club on solos where I actually analyze it and break it down so that you can really relate it back to that theory piece. So once you know the theory and you know the content, the third step is to just make it your own. Now, I'm a strong believer in the fact that the more that you play like somebody else, the more you're going to sound like them. So if your top 3 guitar players were Jerry Garcia, Trey Anastasio, and Derek Trucks, say those were your 3, and you only studied their solos for a year, I guarantee you would sound like a pretty good mix between all 3 of them. Now, the best part about this is that you can choose how you want to play. With the more information that you're consuming through guitar solos, the more that you can kind of filter and say, okay, I like this one thing, I'm going to start using that. I like this one thing, I'm going to start using that. And that's how you build your style. You learn the things that you want to learn, that you think sound good and you would love to be able to play it. And after you stack that up over time, your unique taste in all of those different solos will come out into your own interpretation. That, I believe, is what makes guitar players individual. So that's my roadmap. You got to learn the theory, you got to supplement that with the content, and then you got to work on making it your own. Now, I have a much more detailed process to this that's explained through a bunch of different lessons in Tough Club. That is probably the most basic way that I can put it. So if you're an advanced guitar player and you already know the theory, take what you can from what I said about the content and making it your own. That'll help you absolutely. If you're a beginner or an intermediate guitar player, start with the theory. You can go and surf YouTube lessons. I can tell you from experience, it did not work for me when I was trying to learn things as crucial as the foundations of music theory. So, of course, I'm going to recommend that you check out Tough Club. I genuinely do believe that these lessons are super helpful, and I know for a fact that all the students who are currently in the platform agree with me. Now, if you think that you're someone who would benefit more from one-on-one guidance and check-ins, the Weekly Mentor Plan is a great way to give you the freedom to be able to practice when you want to, but the accountability of a guitar teacher who's checking in with you weekly, asking for you to send in updates on your progress. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one.